Please note that this content is for adults only. Viewer discretion advised. If you haven't yet, hit the subscribe, like, and share. Hello everyone and welcome back to another live stream with me, Grizzly. This is Grizzly True Crime, and today we're going to talk about Michael Vaughan's case. And there's been a huge update in this case because there's been an arrest, and the person who was arrested was charged with murder and second-degree kidnapping. So first-degree murder, second-degree kidnapping, and destruction of evidence. Now that is heartbreaking, you know, on one hand when you think about that. But on the other hand, oh, okay, one step closer to justice for Michael Monkey Vaughan. Now, I did a poll before I started this live stream, and I asked you guys, have you ever heard of this case? And 24% of you said you've been following this case very closely. 27% said yes, but you've only followed a little bit, and 49% that voted said that you've never followed this case before. So we are going to do a timeline recap. I'm going to make sure that by the time you watch this live stream, in minimal time, you'll know what you need to know, about the case, so that we have all the basics, all the bullet points, the maps, what happened, who's who, and what's next, right? So thank you for being here. Please like and share so that others can also know that we are live right now and we are discussing this case. And let's start with this. Shame, look at him. Okay. Welcome also to my moderators, patrons, members, and all subscribers and locals in chat. This case takes place in Fruitland, Idaho. So if you are from Idaho or Fruitland, Idaho, let us know in chat as well. It's always great to have locals here too. Okay. So Michael Joseph, nicknamed Monkey Vaughan, he was last seen on July 27th of 2021. So this arrest that has just happened on October 30th, it's taken 4.5 years to get here. Okay, and so he was last seen July 27th of 2021 in Fruitland, Payette County, Idaho. He was 5 years old and just playing in his yard at his house, where he lived with his parents and his little sister. And he was last seen just 3 days after his birthday. That is so heartbreaking. So he had just turned 5. He went missing between 6:40 p.m. and 7 p.m. and he was reported missing at 7:21 p.m. Police believe that he was abducted and murdered. And no one knows exactly what happened to him. They've never found his remains. Not yet. They're still looking. The investigation is ongoing. But the little bits that have come out from rumors online and interviews and things, it just sounds absolutely horrifying. This poor little boy. My goodness. So he was allegedly abducted and murdered. And again, his remains are yet to be found. Thomas the Dank Engine, welcome. Also, I do want to tell you that one of the Grizzlies emailed me to ask if I've ever covered this case. And I realized I didn't have a playlist for this case. So I've covered this case extensively in the past. And so I've made a playlist for us, and it's linked in the description box. So if you want to catch up on some of the previous deep dives we've done, where we watched every single press conference together, we looked at the map in detail and all sorts of things, right? We even looked at even the guy that was now arrested, the suspect. We looked at his and his ex-wife's social media. For that, we needed some barf bags. Oh my word. So yeah, if you didn't see any of that, it's on the playlist, okay? So, okay. So they believe he was abducted and murdered. Now I quickly want to show you one clip before we continue with the presentation. So let's look at this one right here. Yeah, that's the guy who was arrested. Okay.
Now a Payette County lieutenant confirms Wondra has been charged with first-degree murder, second-degree kidnapping, and destruction of evidence. In 2022, police announced Wondra, his ex-wife, Sarah, and 2 other individuals were suspects or persons of interest in Michael's disappearance. Authorities searched the Wondra's home and yard in Fruitland at that time. Sarah was charged with failure to report a death, but that charge was later dropped. Stacey Wondra is serving time outside of state for a different crime, and the lieutenant tells us that he was not been extradited back to Idaho yet. Sarah is currently serving time in an Idaho prison on unrelated charges. Payette County prosecutor Michael Duke said in a statement that the office was moving forward with, quote, charges against individuals involved in the disappearance and murder of Vaughan. He said the Fruitland Police Department has not been able to locate Michael or recover his remains. Michael's mom, Brandy Neal, sent us a statement this morning saying their family is filled with mixed emotions. She said in part, quote, all we have wanted is for Michael to come home. Knowing that charges are coming forth to these monsters, we pray that they will finally tell us where Michael is. Michael deserves to be home with his family. We are here and we want justice. Michael will get his justice. We want Michael home, and we're never going to stop until we have Michael home. You can.
Shame. Brandy Neal, Michael's mother, and dad, they've been fighting for him for so long, for justice for him, to find out what happened to him, to, when the police already suspected before that he had been abducted and murdered, to look for him. Shame. And Brandy, I believe, has just had a liver transplant, and she was like on a feeding tube and really struggling with her health. I'm sure all the stress of this must be so devastating on top of everything. She posted a video recently. There's a Facebook group which I'll show you, and she did say that she's doing a lot better, that she could have the feeding tube removed and things like that. So I hope that she's okay. I think this is so heartbreaking. Imagine your 5-year-old little boy just suddenly going missing, and look at the time frame between 6:40 p.m. and 7 p.m. It's like, it's not like at no time is okay. I just mean it's not like midnight or 2 in the morning. It's like he was just playing in his front yard, and they believe he was abducted just like that. So somebody must have seen there's an opportunity, grab him, and they never saw him again. They were just, having a normal day, living their life on July 27th of 2021. So Michael's dad, Tyler Vaughan, was in the back room with Michael's sister, and he was ordering a pizza. And when he went back out, Michael was gone in such a short time frame. Michael was wearing a light blue Minecraft shirt, black boxer briefs with lime green stitching, and size 11 flip-flop sandals. He had blonde hair, blue eyes, stood about 3 feet 7 inches tall, and weighed around 50 pounds. And just turned 5. Now, I don't think they've ever found any of those items either. So I've still listed it here on this presentation, which is an updated presentation from the last ones we did that's on the playlist. I'm still listing that in case. What if someone saw something, heard something, hasn't said something, or found any of these items and just didn't know, what it's about. Also, I believe they're sharing blue hearts and blue balloons, I think. So I've put these blue hearts in the chat there. I believe blue was his favorite color, and his parents have been wearing like blue shirts and sharing everything blue in honor of Michael Monkey Vaughan. So the Fruitland Police Department issued at the time an endangered missing person alert that night, and they described him as possibly abducted or in danger. An Amber Alert wasn't released at the time because they had no evidence that a vehicle had taken him. Michael's case quickly escalated into one of Idaho's largest missing child investigations, involving local police, the FBI, the Idaho State Police, and volunteers. Drones, canine units, divers searching the nearby Snake River and irrigation canals, and ground teams scoured the area for weeks, but no trace of him was found. Between July and August of 2021, massive searches involved over 1,000 volunteers, helicopters, boats, everything. Michael's family set up a command center and offered a reward, and this eventually grew to what it is now, which is just about $53,000. A reward offering a reward for any information leading to finding Michael Monkey Vaughan, right? Okay, sorry, I just need a quick tissue. Hold on 1 second. I'll mute it again. Okay, I've got the winter sniffles. Moving on, September 2021 to 2022, the FBI joined and they analyzed cell phone data, surveillance footage, and interviewed neighbors. Then in November of 2022, based on a tip, police excavated the backyard of a home. Do you guys remember that, if you did follow this? On Red Wing Street, which was owned by suspects Sarah and Stacey Wondra. Now, just please keep in mind that Stacey is a guy, okay? So we're going to talk more about him because he's the guy that has just been arrested and charged with first-degree murder and second-degree kidnapping and destruction of evidence. And he has been very vocal online. Like, he has done plenty of interviews with the news, with YouTubers, jumping on the camera anytime he can, just about. Now, he's been in jail for quite some time, but yeah, he definitely was not quiet. So I just want to see, is this the clip I want to show you? Yeah, I wanted to show you now this clip. So that was a home on Red Wing Street owned by Sarah and Stacey Wondra, believing Michael's remains might be buried there. We're going to go into, now I've got some hindsight of, oh, that's why they thought that. The dig lasted several days, but it yielded nothing conclusive. 4 persons of interest were publicly named. Okay, so now have a look at this clip here.
Excavating the entire backyard and plan to dig 3 to 4 feet deep. It was an all-hands-on-deck operation. Idaho State Police, Fruitland Police, Idaho Mountain Search and Rescue, Fruitland Public Works, and the Fruitland Fire Department were at the scene. 2 human remains scent dogs were also there for a little while. Huff says they've received more than 1,500 leads since Michael's disappearance, and that they're determined to find Michael and bring some closure to his family.
We just have to continue to process this, and if it yields, it yields. You know, I guess it's kind of a double-edged sword. Do I hope? Not really. You know, I hope that Michael is still alive and that we can bring him home safely to his family. But we also know that we need to find resolution to this case, and you know, we need to just follow the leads and follow the credible information, and that's what we'll continue to do.
Huff says they took all of the dirt that has been excavated so far to an off-site location where it will be processed. Crews wrapped up for the day around 6 o'clock tonight, but the area remains taped and closed.
Shame. So nothing, they didn't find anything there, but cadaver dogs did react to an area. So let me just first, I've got things to show you. Okay. So again, in November of 2022, based on a tip. That tip came from Stacey Wondra himself, apparently. Okay, I'll show you some of that later. But yeah, 4 persons of interest were publicly named. We watched that press conference together, so if you didn't see it, again, it's on the playlist, right? Now, the suspect's name was Sarah Wondra. Stacey, the guy's that's just been arrested, ex-wife. She was arrested in November of 2022 for failure to report a death, but charges were dropped in 2023 due to insufficient evidence. Then Stacey Wondra, the guy, lived blocks away from Michael Vaughan's home and he's just been arrested on October 30th of 2025 and charged with first-degree murder, second-degree kidnapping, and destruction of evidence. Adrian Lucian lived with the Wondras during the time that Michael disappeared. He allegedly gave statements to police, but no charges have been filed against him. And Brandon Shirtliff lived with the Wondras for approximately 2 years on and off, and during that time, that's when Michael went missing as well. So that Brandon guy's also done multiple interviews with YouTubers, so that's also quite interesting to hear, you know, all these people talking and hear what they've got to say. So if you just search on YouTube for Michael Vaughan's case, you will find a lot of those, right? Cat OG said, love my membership here, hashtag justice for monkey. Thank you so much. Okay, so those were the suspects named. Now hold on, let me just see what's next here. Okay, so we're going to go into the charges because the main focus would be then, I would say at this point, on Sarah Wondra and her ex-husband, Stacey Wondra, because Stacey is the guy that's just been charged with first-degree murder. But first, I want to show you the map, okay? So let me show you the map, and then I'm going to show you why they decided to go and search there. Okay, first I will say that this is all very public record. I'm not showing anything I'm not supposed to be showing. It's part of court documents, court records, police records, and all of that, okay? And it was an area of interest in a homicide investigation. Okay, especially now, man, first-degree murder charges. So we're going here to Fruitland, Idaho. And if you look here, Michael Monkey Vaughan lived around here, which is on Southwest 9th Street in Fruitland, Idaho. And he was playing in his yard. Now, they did say that tracker dogs actually had tracked him to the end of this road. So there is some speculation online that he had actually wandered off, that he'd actually like left his yard and wandered off to the end of this road and was abducted from somewhere here. So there's lots of reports online, but I couldn't quite verify, you know, who saw him or what happened there. But they did track him to the end of this road. That's what they said initially. Police said, tracker dogs, right? Sleuthy Sweetheart said so many people were staying at their house around that time, off and on. This case breaks my heart, right? Thank you so much for being a member for 9 months. Okay, so now let's look at the house where they were excavating in the backyard, and then I'm going to show you why, what credible tip they got, which I think because he kind of said that he's the one who gave the tip. He said that in an interview, which is the guy that's just been arrested and charged with first-degree murder. So look how close it is. If you look at the distance, I mean, that would be driving. That's what, 2 minutes, half a mile? Quick little 10-minute walk. Look at this. Oh, my word. So even if it's a 2-minute drive, ooh, that is such a small window, right? It was at this 1202 Red Wing Street. This is where they excavated the backyard. So that is, we saw a news clip of that now. That is where they were. And they were looking for Michael's remains there because of the tip that they had received. But one more time, if we go from where his house was and where he was playing in the yard, and he could have left the yard and walked on his street, you know, if he was abducted from around here, it's so quick to get to their house. 2 minutes. So if they were apparently operating some kind of like taxi service here. I think Stacey Wondra, the female, you know, she's an aggressive one. We'll go over all her charges, but she may have just been driving a taxi past here and maybe just saw an opportunity. Maybe he did. Obviously, he's been charged. She hasn't been charged with anything now in relation to Michael Monkey Vaughan's case. But I just wanted to show you just so that you could see how close this was from where he was last seen and to where they were excavating in the backyard. That is so scary. Okay, so now have a look at this. Okay, let's put this on here. I have to resize for you. This is Stacey Wondra, who's just been arrested and charged with first-degree murder. And here he's pictured on the 12th of November of 2022. Whoa, this was... Remember the press conference we watched? That was that press conference was in December of 2022. And it's based on what he told police here. So in fact, before you have your jaw on the floor with that, let me show you what the police said. Look here.
Did the work necessary without the selfless help of others. The community support has been absolutely incredible. As you know, from the time Michael went missing, this has been an all-hands-on-deck investigation, and it remains very active and an ongoing investigation. You can't take one of our most precious citizens from us and ever expect us to stop. During the course of this investigation to date, we received credible information that the remains of Michael Vaughan could be found in the backyard at 1102 Red Wing Street in Fruitland. As a result, the Fruitland Police Department obtained a search warrant for the residence along with the front and backyards. That search warrant was served on November 11th. It was a Friday. We served that late in the evening. Upon entry, officers encountered Stacey Wondra, one of the known occupants of the home, and Sarah was subsequently arrested based on probable cause that she had knowledge of Michael's death and failed to report that death to law enforcement.
But then those charges were dropped later for her. But this press conference was held on December 1st of 2022, and they said they got the search warrant in November 2022, right? Which was on this day. Like this is the credible information that I think they got credible. I mean, this guy also lies quite a lot, you know. But look what he was saying to police here. So this is from a channel called Clutch Them Pearls. And I've also linked the news channel that shared this as well. So let's see. This is now the guy, right? Charged with first-degree murder and second-degree kidnapping and destruction of evidence. Now look at him, what he's telling police in November of 2022, which was before that press conference, right before the search warrant was served, right before they started excavating. Here's why. Look what he told them.
I need a little bit more direction about where Michael is at.
Go out the back door, or
Okay?
I can't. Can you turn the camera around so I can show you?
We're flipping around right now. Stand by. Right here.
There you go.
Okay, so I'm going out the kitchen door.
That's some equipment.
That is some equipment. Okay, where do I need to go?
Okay, face to the right. Like right where the dirt piles are.
Right where
Uh,
Go ahead. Okay, walk over there and you point us to where it needs to be.
okay. Now keep going out a little further.
Keep going out a little further. You're gonna have to climb that mound.
It's like right under that mound area.
It's right under the mound, about where at compared to the trees?
A little like right to the right of the trees area.
To the right of the trees?
Yeah.
Okay.
A little
So,
bit. Where
can
where
you
the
see-
He's directing the police on where to search for Michael's remains. And I hope they arrest Stacey Wondra again. She's already serving time for unrelated charges, but I would like to see them flip on each other because I think that's how the information will come out best. You know what I mean? Well, she's already in prison for other charges. I'll say maybe she'll flip now. Who knows? But these people, every time somebody's getting arrested, they throw each other completely under the bus. So he was basically saying that he saw Sarah dig the hole and that Michael was buried in their backyard. And then when they couldn't find Michael's remains in their backyard, he said, oh, well, maybe they moved him. And then I know they also said maybe they moved him to a neighbor's property and they named that neighbor and they went there as well and they searched, but they couldn't find anything. So I'm going to play this a little bit more. It's really horrifying. He also talks about duct tape over Michael's mouth, like what they would find and all of that. So let's just play it a little bit more.
Okay, where at now?
now he's off the dirt mound. It's like underneath the dirt mound area.
And about where he's standing?
Yeah, a little bit less, like closer to the house.
Come closer to the house?
Yeah.
And what is he wrapped in?
It should be a garbage bag.
Okay, what color is the garbage bag?
It would either be white or black. We only had two colors.
I want you to direct him from the fence where that orange thing in his hand is. Where do we need to stop it?
Right about there.
Right about there. Okay.
They said, what would he be covered in? He said, a garbage bag. Also, I wrote down a timestamp here. One was there and this was the other one. Wait, somewhere around 35-ish. I've linked this whole interview for you so you could watch it.
Right under the bus.
No.
When they came through the door with the search warrant. Nobody even asked her any questions. She just flat out said it.
She just flat out said Stacey did it all?
No, she said Stacey murdered him and buried him.
Oh my god, dude. That is the most... Wow, man. That's definitely
His ex-wife said Stacey murdered him and buried him.
not what I did. I didn't do any of that. And you're gonna find out as soon as you guys locate him. Like I said, I wanted no part in that. None.
Is the duct tape still going to be over his mouth?
It should be.
Okay.
I didn't watch take them off.
Okay.
So you should have everything intact as it was.
How long, give me an approximate time frame it took her to dig and bury?
I don't know, I'd say probably between a half hour to an hour-ish. I want to say. I mean, I think Adrian was helping her if I'm right about that. I mean,
That's Chris McDonough from the interview room you can hear on the call there. He's been helping with the investigation, right? So, whoa. And they did not find Michael Monkey Vaughan in their backyard. But the cadaver dogs did react. They did have a change in behavior in that backyard. And so Stacey Wondra implies that, oh, well, then he was moved. And that's really sad because I hope that they will be able to find him, right? Especially if there's many people involved or whatever's going on here. I hope that they'll be able to find him so that his family can put him to rest, you know? Okay, so yeah, that interview, it's pretty shocking. It's body cam, right? And he was trying to show the police where they could find him. Anyway, so back to this. Wait, not that yet. Back to the presentation. I'm going to tell you now who's who and what's going on. Hold on. So these were the 4 suspects. Wait. So we went over that. Okay, the 4 suspects were named and we went over those, and now you know that Stacey Wondra is the guy who was arrested and charged with first-degree murder. So maybe Sarah was right, or what? Or maybe they, I don't know what they have. I don't know what kind of probable cause they have. We don't have documents like that yet. I don't know if we will, because it's also a minor. But if at any time after he gets extradited from Arizona back to Idaho, if there's documents available, of course we'll go over it, right? Okay, so Sarah Wondra, his ex-wife, the one that threw him under the bus, was arrested in November of 2022 for failure to report a death in connection with Michael Vaughan's disappearance. But those charges were dropped in April of 2023 due to insufficient evidence. I remember us being quite outraged about that. Do you remember? October of 2023, she pleaded guilty to aggravated assault and destruction, alteration, or concealment of evidence. She was arrested in March of 2023. She pleaded guilty in October of 2023. She had pointed a gun at a guest who stayed with her and then brought the gun to her parents' house in April of 2022. So those charges that she pleaded guilty to are not related to Michael Vaughan's case at all. It's other charges. And so she will serve between 3 and 7 years in prison, and she's in the South Idaho Correctional Institute. Kathy, thanks for being a member for 4 months. You said justice for Monkey. Please let him be found, right? I really hope so. Thank you to Grizzly Cat for checking on her charges for me as well. So we could just see, based on all the reports, just look on the court system. Yeah, assault, aggravated with deadly weapon, unlawful possession by convicted felon, evidence, destruction, alteration or concealment, controlled substance, possession of, battery, all sorts of things. And from all these interviews that are on YouTube channels, it sounds like they all describe her as very aggressive. So there she's pictured there with her ex-husband, Stacey. Now, let's just see.
So, I don't know if I'm...
Wait. Just want to see. Let's see if I can just the presentation. Should be this.
The only Christian that's noticed this?
Okay. So I'm showing you this because in the background on her fridge, she has, this is now Sarah Wondra, right? She has the missing flyer of Michael Vaughan on her fridge. This is supposedly, according to Stacey Wondra, the woman who buried Michael in the backyard. And according to her, she says that Stacey, her ex-husband, killed and buried Michael. He, at some point, changed his profile picture to Michael's picture. And she has the poster on the fridge in the background. So have a look.
Slightly, but since all this chaos started happening, I just noticed a lot of people seem to be pushing their witchcraft on here. And I'm not saying that people can't believe what they want to, because that's totally up to them. But as a fellow believer, I'm just trying to warn my fellow Christians or anybody that is seeking God that that's no good. That is straight talking to the devil and letting him talk to you. Don't forget, the Bible says that the devil disguises himself as an angel of light. So just because it looks good.
Look behind her. Do you see it? My word, she has it on the fridge. Yeah, and she's very preachy.
It doesn't mean the brownies are on point. Sometimes they're burnt and you don't even know it till you eat one. You know what I mean?
Wow. Okay. Now, Stacey Wondra, he had a prior conviction from 2023 for unlawful possession of a firearm as a felon, which he was sentenced to 21 months in federal prison for, and this happened on November 1st of 2023. So Stacey, he was serving this sentence at the Federal Correctional Institution, FCI, in Phoenix, Arizona. Because I was wondering, why the hell was this guy arrested in Phoenix, Arizona? Like, did he leave the state? Did he flee the state? Is he guilty? You know. Why is everybody in different places? Even the other 2 persons of interest, we know when they named the 4. Those 2 are somewhere else as well. And I'm like, what is going on? So that's why he was in Arizona, because of that prior conviction, for having this firearm. So I found some articles that go into a bit more detail about it. They say Wondra lost his right to own a firearm after he was charged with felony burglary in Gallatin. Did I say that right? I feel like, tell me if you're local there in Montana. Gallatin County, Montana, court records showed. Despite that, he went to a pawn shop in Livingston, Montana in 2018 and lied about his criminal history to obtain the weapon, according to a sentencing memorandum filed by the U.S. Attorney's Office for the District of Montana. They said simply he made a very dangerous decision to possess a firearm, and this decision is even more dangerous because of his own history and characteristics, Assistant U.S. Attorney Brian Dake wrote. The defendant also has a criminal history that seems to be increasing in severity over time. He added at the time that Wondra has prior convictions for assault, theft, and other misdemeanor offenses and suffered from substance abuse issues. Whoa, these are some scary people, right? Okay, so now, he was there finishing his sentence in Arizona. The day that his sentence was finished, he was arrested and charged with these Idaho charges, which is first-degree murder, second-degree kidnapping, and destruction of evidence. So just when he thought, I'm getting out now, I'm going to be free. No, you're not. Now you got even worse charges. So the warrant for his arrest for new charges was served right after he completed that sentence. He was arrested October 30th of 2025 and he's awaiting extradition to Idaho. He appeared in a Maricopa County courtroom the day of his arrest and he waived his right to an extradition hearing, meaning he's agreed to be transferred without contesting the process. He also looks like he's lost a lot of weight since he's been in prison serving that first sentence, and now he'll be in Idaho, which is a death penalty state. Are they going to pursue the death penalty? They've charged him with first-degree murder, second-degree kidnapping, and destruction of evidence. They could pursue it. We'll have to see. Jean-Marie O'Mahony, thank you so much for being a member for 4 months. Okay, so Stacey James Wondra, thank you to MB Inc. for sending me this. Booking number is there as well. It doesn't say bond. So there's no bond now, and especially once he's extradited, we'll find out what will his bond be. Hopefully it's zero bond in Idaho and all of that, right? Wow. So yeah, this is massive news. I don't think anyone is too shocked that it's him that was arrested, but to think that, whoa, it's 4.5 years later, what do they have? Now let me first show you this before we read what the prosecutor said. Look at this clip here where he said, I'm here to clear my name. Oh my word. He spoke to the news. As I told you, he spoke to many YouTubers as well. He's done plenty of interviews and here he's just clearing his name. Now, hold on. Let me check when this was. This was posted a year ago. This was January 15th of 2024. Okay.
Fruitland Police is now calling a suspect in the abduction of Michael Monkey Vaughan. Spoke to News 7 Investigates Morgan Romero. Fruitland's police chief told us for the first time Stacey Wondra is a suspect in the little boy's disappearance. His wife Sarah was previously charged with failure to report Michael's death, but that charge was dropped several months later, though she remains a suspect. Now, along with the Wondras, police labeled 2 men who lived with them, Adrian Lucian and Brandon Shirtliff, suspects who absolutely know what happened to Michael. 5 years old at the time, Michael disappeared from his Fruitland home on Southwest 9th Street on July 27, 2021. In November of 2022, we were there as crews searched and excavated the property where those 4 suspects lived, just 2-minute drive from the Vaughn's home. Police said they had credible information from someone living in the Wondras' house that Michael's body was there. Human remains, dogs alerted, but ultimately Michael wasn't found. Police believe Michael was buried in the yard and then moved. Fruitland police sent probable cause to the Payette County prosecutor last summer to be presented to a grand jury. Police Chief J.D. Huff says a grand jury hasn't convened yet, but they will soon. Although that case centers around...
That was 1.5 years ago. So what do they have now? I know we all want to know.
Around the Wondras and their roommates, Stacey tells us he knows nothing about Michael's abduction.
Stacey Wondra, S-T-A-C-E-Y.
It's been 2 months since Stacey Wondra was released from federal custody, convicted of a gun crime, unrelated to the disappearance of little Michael Vaughn.
And what have you been doing since?
I've been trying to live my life the best way I can.
Stacey agreed to interview with me to, quote, clear his name.
I have no reason to hide anything from anybody. I'm not that type of person. I'm an open book. You can ask me anything and I will tell you.
Oh, sure, dude. He's the one now charged with first-degree murder of Michael Vaughn. Yeah, and this guy can talk, hey? He really likes the cameras. Oh my word, is the sound okay? Is it good enough? Tell me if you want me to boost it a bit more. Look here.
Doesn't hide anything from anybody. I'm not that type of person. I'm an open book. You can ask me anything and I will tell you an honest answer to it.
Were you involved in the disappearance of Michael Vaughn?
No.
Why do police think you were?
I have no idea.
Stacey thinks law enforcement's case may hinge on Adrian Lucien, one of the men living with Stacey and his wife at the time Michael disappeared. One of the men police are calling a suspect.
Any clues or evidence that could point to that, from your knowledge?
No.
Okay.
I would never have thought Sarah or Brendan or Adrian would, maybe Adrian, but I wouldn't have thought Sarah or Brendan would have ever done something like this. I was not even home at the night of the disappearance. I know that at that nighttime, Sarah, Brandon, and I had left to Cuna to go recover his tow's vehicle.
Elaborate on that day a little bit more. You said you were working?
Yes.
Damn, he says, yeah, no, I don't think Sarah would ever be capable of this. Well, Sarah threw you under the bus. She said you killed Michael and you buried him in the backyard. All right, South Florida gal, nice to see you. You said you did say Gallatin County, correct, G? Hello, Mods and Grizzly. Thank you for being a member for 41 months. Wow. Okay, so yeah, this guy loves the camera.
So I did a taxi ride from Ontario to Boise. I know that I was gone a good portion of the day from like 1 p.m. in the afternoon to like about 4. Spent some time with a former coworker or boss that I used to work for. I think I spent maybe an hour and a half, and then had come back home. And the neighborhood was completely solitude. It was quiet.
Stacey claims he, Brandon, and Sarah left their house and headed to Cuna to tow Brandon's car around 5:30 to 6 p.m. on July 27, 2021. Brandon blew a spark plug and couldn't drive it, he says. Fruitland police believe Monkey went missing between 6:40 and 7 p.m. that night.
When we got back, I think about between 9 and 10 o'clock at night, we noticed there was an excessive amount of people out in the community walking around the neighborhood. We had stopped and asked what was going on, and they said that a boy had been abducted or been taken, and it was news to me, and it was news to Sarah, what it seemed like, and Brandon. We got home, Brandon.
Was it news to you because you had changed your picture to his picture and you had the missing flyer on your fridge, dude? Okay. So I just quickly want to see, because somebody just asked again, this was posted on January 15th of 2024. Maybe it was conducted before then, based on his arrest that we just saw, that arrest timeline. We'll look again, but this was posted January 2024. That's what we're watching now, okay?
And Sarah decided they were going to go look for the boy, and I was in the process of getting the vehicle detached from the truck because it was taking up the whole length of the street pretty much.
Stacey later clarified to me he wasn't initially told Michael was abducted, just that he was missing. And where was Adrian that day?
Adrian and Brandon and Sarah all took a trip to Boise in the morning before I did my taxi ride. It was Adrian wanted to go see his kid.
He claims Adrian stayed in either Boise or Nampa all night.
Is that what they told you, or do you know that to be true for a fact?
I mean, that's just what I'm going based off of. I mean, I was told the same thing that's, all over. I wasn't with them.
Human cadaver dogs are highly reliable. Why did police tell you that human cadaver dogs pinged on your property at that home?
They didn't really give an explanation. They just said that the dogs had hit around the property. But
right, but so he really lies a lot, because we saw him in that 2022 footage telling police to go and look there. I do wonder when this interview was conducted, even if it's posted in January 2024. When did they do this interview? Because in 2022, he's telling police, go there. Yeah, Michael was buried in the backyard. Now he's like, I don't know why. No idea. Objection Cake said, thanks for covering this update, G. Curious if you found any speculation on motive. I mean, yeah, but none of it may be helpful, just hurtful, especially for Michael's family and friends. You know, I don't know. It's just so horrifying to think of if it's this guy involved. Ooh, if it's him and that ex-wife and those other two guys, I don't know what's going on in that house, but it sounds terrifying for a 5-year-old, you know? And then he's talking about duct tape over Michael's mouth. It's and being found in a, he said that they should find him in a trash bag. It is like, my mind doesn't even want to go there. I do not know why they would want to, and I can come up with some true crimey reasons, but I don't want to. It's just all absolutely devastating, right? And really horrifying.
But, I mean, there was nothing, I don't even know how that's even feasible because like I said, I've never even heard of this kid. I've never seen this kid, never knew anything about him.
Police said that they believe Michael's body was buried there and then moved. Can you think of any time that his body would have been buried there and then moved? Does anything stand out to you?
Not at all. They were saying that he was buried by the shed. Makes absolutely no sense. There's been no dig marks. There's no trench marks. There's nothing. The ground was completely a complete grassed area.
Could it have happened when you weren't around and it was potentially covered up?
It could have, very possibly. I just know.
I mean, on one, look, we see one body cam clip and he's like, oh yeah, go look over there a little bit further. It would be so many feet deep and you should look over there and okay, and this is what you're going to find, all those details. And in this interview, he's like, I have no idea why they'd even look there. Might not have even happened when I was at home. Who knows why they're looking? They said it was near the shed. Oh my word. He's the source. He's the guy. And the thing is, the cadaver dogs did have a change in behavior. They did hit on the area. So where is Michael? You know? Wow.
I wasn't around for any of it. I have no idea. I would like to know what happened to him.
They did say that they recovered several pieces of evidence at your home and on your property. Do you know what those pieces of evidence were?
Well, it's news to me.
The day after our interview,
he was playing with something.
Stacey gave a YouTuber a new piece of information.
I'm sorry, I'm trying to recollect as best as I can for you.
He, Brandon, and Sarah pulled over to put power steering fluid in his car right after they left for Kuna the day Michael was abducted. He says they saw a child playing by himself on the sidewalk down the street around the corner from the Vaughn's home.
The kid I saw did not depict Michael. I mean, he wasn't like a little kid.
No more gum for you, sir. No more gum for you. Ew.
You know what I mean? Like he was, that's why I said it didn't concern me at all that he was out and about doing his thing.
Stacey says he doesn't know what's in the probable cause affidavit police sent to prosecutors. The one police say centers around him, Sarah, Adrian, and Brandon.
Do you think police have anything on you or your wife?
I personally know for a fact they don't have anything against me or on me. I have not. I have no knowledge. Again, I wasn't even home. I have no knowledge of who this little boy is, his whereabouts, or anything about him.
Sure. Okay, wait, let's hear the last bit.
Interview with the YouTuber, Stacey said his attorney told him he's no longer a person of interest in Michael's abduction. Chief Huff tells me that's not true. When I called Stacey's attorney to get a straight answer, his attorney told me, quote, I have no comment at this time, and hung up. I also reached out to Michael's mom, Brandy Neal, to let her know about this interview airing. She was appreciative and said the most important thing in the world is to get Michael home.
And she still says it's shame. Of course it is, right? Oh my goodness, like that guy can lie like none other. Oh my word. Okay, so let's quickly look here. What do we know? What do we know so far? How the heck did they arrest him? So the Piatt County prosecutor, Michael Duke, said, Michael Vaughan case update. And this was posted after the arrest on October 30th of 2025. He said, my office is moving forward with charges against the individuals involved. He said individuals. So please could we see some more charges, more people arrested? Okay. So they can also flip on each other and tell everything so that Michael can be found. Okay, against the individuals involved in the disappearance and murder of 5-year-old Michael Vaughan, which occurred in the summer of 2021. After a robust investigation by the Fruitland Police Department and countless assisting agencies, we have unfortunately been unable to locate Michael to recover his remains. Our foremost hope has always been to recover Michael, but delays now risk further harm to his loved ones. We believe we know the individuals involved and are committed to pursuing justice with or without Michael's recovery. Wow, okay. Auntie Bertie B said he said there were no skid marks. Could he have run him over? I don't know. Could be. You never know. The charges are only possible as a result of the Fruitlands' unyielding tenacity and perseverance. They have not ceased to work the case since the crime occurred, and they are continuing to search and investigate so they can bring Michael's body home. As Chief Huff has previously stated, it would be foolish to believe Fruitland PD will ever stop in their pursuit of recovering one of the most cherished members of our community, a child. I would remind the public that anyone accused of a crime by my office is entitled to the presumption of innocence, and it is this office's duty to prove that they are guilty beyond a reasonable doubt in a court of law. I would also ask the public and media to be sensitive to how difficult a case like this is to the surviving family members and neighbors, and ask that any efforts to speak with those involved be tempered appropriately. Cases such as these tend to thrust family members into the public eye against their will, and it's my hope that the public will respect their privacy as they weather this difficult process. Shame. Okay. So that was Michael Duke, Payette County prosecutor. And so Duke said that while prosecutors had hoped to find Michael's remains before upgrading the charges, he was moving forward with the case in part to reduce further harm to the victim's family. I hope that they will be successful, right? Okay, so the county sheriff's office declined to comment because I was wondering, what did they say? Fruitland Police Chief J.D. Huff deferred all questions to the prosecutor's office. Shame. So here's a picture of Michael Monkey Vaughan. A blue heart as well because they're wearing blue for him and blue balloons and all of that. And tips are still encouraged. You can contact the Fruitland PD at the number on the screen there or email findmichael@fruitland.org. Now I still have two things to show you. Just hold on one second. I'm just quickly looking. Okay. So I wanted to, let me show you this quickly. Wait, there's three things I want to show you. First, look at this. My goodness. Stacey Wondra said on August 2nd of 2021, boy missing from around my neighborhood, please help find him. That's Stacey Wondra, the guy that's just been charged with murders, ex-wife. Whoa. I wonder if she's going to be charged as well. But like, see, they shared flyers. She had the poster on her fridge. And yet he was very likely killed at their house. Allegedly, right? Okay, so that's one. Secondly, I want to quickly show you this extradition hearing that this guy had so that you could just see that a little bit. He's very small. He's over here, very small.
Wondra, go ahead, state your name.
Stacey James Wondra.
And Mr. Wondra, what is your date of birth?
9/12/92.
Thank you. All right, so you are here this evening because the Idaho issued a warrant for your arrest.
Correct.
All right.
Your Honor, so I have a question relating. So I have had no way to contact any relatives or anybody or any legal counsel to ask a recommendation of what I should do on this
Okay, so we have information, and then you can make a choice, or you can choose not to make a choice.
Okay.
So we'll get there. All right. And you said your date of birth was September 12th, 1992. Is that correct? All right. All right. As I mentioned, a warrant for your arrest has been issued by the state of Idaho. That state wants you back on its warrant. Before court, you were given some paperwork on a big white laminated card, which you had. Did you read that paperwork?
Yes.
Okay. As I stated, you have a warrant from the state of Idaho. You have a choice to make at this time. You can choose to waive your right to an extradition hearing and be sent back to Idaho within 30 days, or you can demand an extradition hearing and that a governor's warrant be signed by the governors of both states, that's Arizona and Idaho, before you are sent back to the state of Idaho. If you choose to waive your right to an extradition hearing, you would be held non-bondable in Maricopa County Jail for a period of up to 30 days to allow time for the requesting state to come for you. That 30 days would start tomorrow as long as you do not have any criminal charges pending against you anywhere in Arizona. If you do have criminal charges pending against you in Arizona, the 30-day period would not start until those charges are resolved. If you choose to have an extradition hearing, I will set your hearing for November 17th at 1:30 p.m. in the downtown Maricopa County Superior Court. I cannot appoint an attorney to represent you because extradition matters are civil in nature, but you would have the right to hire a lawyer at your expense if you choose. You are entitled to bail, which in this case would be a cash-only appearance bond in the amount of $1 million. If you are unable to post your bail, you would be held in custody during that time or until another judge modifies your bail. A governor's warrant signed by the governors of both states is required to extradite you to Idaho. That process could take up to 90 days. So you have a choice to make at this point. You can choose to waive your right to an extradition hearing and be held non-bondable here in Arizona for a period of 30 days, or you can you can go ahead with your extradition hearing on November 17th at 1:30.
I'll wait it. I'll wait the 30 days for them to come get me.
Okay. All right. I understand at this time you do want to sign the waiver of extradition. I need to ask you some questions as I am making a record of this proceeding. Did you read the waiver of extradition paperwork?
Yes.
Okay. Do you understand that you do not have to sign the paperwork?
Yes.
Do you understand that you have the right to an extradition hearing?
Yes.
Do you understand that you have the right to hire a lawyer at your own expense?
Yes.
Do you understand that you have the right to demand that a governor's warrant be signed by the governors of both states before you are returned?
Yes.
Do you understand that you have the right to bail?
Yes.
Do you want to give up those rights and sign the paperwork?
Yes.
Has anyone threatened you or promised you anything to get you to sign the paperwork?
No.
Have you had any drugs, alcohol, or medication within the last 24 hours?
No.
You got to say it out loud.
No, I have not.
Okay. I am finding that you are knowingly, intelligently, and voluntarily are signing the waiver, and I am also signing it. I am directing the sheriff's office to notify the requesting state that you are ready to return. The requesting state will have 30 days from tomorrow to pick you up unless there are local charges pending. If there are local charges pending, the 30 days will not start until the conclusion of that case. Do you have any questions?
No, Your Honor.
All right.
Okay, and that was that. So now the last thing I wanted to show you was quickly this. So that was on October 30th of 2025 when he was arrested after he just finished his first sentence. If you missed the beginning of the live stream, please do check it out after this, because we did a whole timeline and talked about his charges, why he was in Arizona, why he was arrested there, what's happening next, right? Okay, yeah, somebody says the clock starts now. Yeah, I feel like there's probably going to be more arrests. Now, I'm sure there's lots of Facebook groups. This is one that I found, Monkeys Missing Children Project of Idaho. And over here, you could see Stacey Wondra has been officially charged in Michael's case. And they also post clips of, here's his mom,
I
Shane.
just dropped by and let everybody know how I'm doing. I got some good news from the doctors today. I was able to get the feeding tube out because I am sustaining weight completely on my own, and I have gained a significant amount. All my numbers are looking good, and all my hard work is showing. Today is a good day. Just keep doing what I'm doing. Everything looks really, really well and is functioning properly now. So I just wanted to stop by and thank everybody for your prayers, your kindness, your support, continued support for not only me, but our family as well. I am truly blessed and forever, forever eternally grateful. So I hope everyone has a wonderful weekend, and those that celebrate, happy Halloween. Be safe, everybody, and be kind.
Okay, so you can find...
Hi, everybody.
You could find Brandy's profile from their group as well, or just on Facebook. She's also on YouTube. She's done lots of interviews. Even, you know, now, like even after this arrest, she did interviews as well. She's really strong, really amazing. I heard on another YouTube channel, which was the Clutch Them Pearls channel, I believe it was. I've listened to a lot in the last few days, but that she's just had a liver transplant and is recovering from that. So shame, she's going through a lot. So please leave her some kind comments as well in the comments section below. Shadow 1008 said, how did Stacey and Sarah get on the police radar? Was there camera footage in the neighborhood? When was the official last sighting? Okay, so the last sighting, we went over that in the beginning. Over here, I'll move myself over again. July 27th of 2021. How did they get on the police radar? That's a good question. I actually don't remember. Was there camera footage? I don't think so. I wish there was. Otherwise, they would have seen. Oh, okay. There was some like footage, some screen grabs from cars that they were interested in talking to the people that own those cars, or a guy that was walking near a park, but not like from right there on Michael Vaughan's street, right? From what I gathered. So, yeah. Okay, that is what we have for today. I will keep you posted, because the next step would be, of course, for Stacey Wondra to be extradited to Idaho. And yeah, let's see what happens once he gets there. Will the prosecution pursue the death penalty or not? Will anyone else be arrested? I'm kind of waiting for that. I'm waiting to see who else is going to be arrested. I wouldn't think it would only be him, but you never know. And then are they going to turn on each other? Because I think they will, and that always helps. You know, it helps the case if somebody can flip on the other one and give up information so that Michael Vaughan can be found, right? Okay, so thank you so much, everyone, for everything. I really appreciate you being here, following this case with me. Go check out the playlist if you want previous deep dives, a refresher and all of that. Grizzly Cat says thank you. Thank you, Grizzly Cat, for all the pictures and information that you helped me find as well. Thank you, mods. Really appreciate it. And I will most certainly see you all again very soon. And I really hope that Michael Vaughan will be found. Now, yes, Tracy says member stream next. We're going to now teleport to the members only live stream next, and they will be watching body cam in another case. Okay, that's just, we're going to snark about that a little bit. So I'll put that link in the chat, and I'll see you at the members only live stream next. Bye, everyone.